Hi guys, so let's talk about a cool and radiant lady. This lady gave me permission to use her photos and emailed me some photos of herself wearing different colors so that I could use the photos in my videos. So let's all say thank you to her in the comments. You guys know I use my own color analysis system called Artistic License, and if you are new here, I will leave a link down below to my video titled The 4 Skin Undertones where I talk about my system. And of course, if you are still confused about your best colors, then I do offer consults through my website, and your photos are always private unless you tell me explicitly that I can share them. So I will leave a link down below to my consults as well. So let's get right into it and take a look at a cool and radiant lady. So you can see here that this lady is cool and radiant, meaning that her skin undertone itself is cool, and her skin undertone itself is also radiant. In the seasonal approach, this lady would be characterized as some kind of summer, so looking good in some muted, cool colors primarily. But what I'm saying is that she looks good in bright and cool colors, not muted and cool colors, because of the chroma of the skin itself. So her skin has a certain radiance to it, and it definitely has a lot of cool dominance. And you can see how amazing and vibrant she looks on the left with that fuchsia lip, and she looks amazing in magenta too on the right, and it doesn't really overpower her at all. When we compare her in a bit more of a muted color like on the left and in a brighter color like on the right, you can see that on the right, that color really brings a lot of light to her face, and it just lights her up overall. So I would say she is definitely a radiant undertone because her skin has a certain radiance to it, and the muted colors don't flatter her as much as the bright colors do. When we compare her wearing different lipstick colors, so on the left is her original lipstick color. I altered the image on the right to a more muted, cool mauve type of a color, and you can see that on the left that bright fuchsia lipstick just lights up her face and looks so much better than the more muted cool lipstick on the right does. So I think she's definitely cool and radiant. And before anyone says, well, no, her dominant characteristic is just that she's bright and it doesn't really matter that she is warm or cool, you can see that when I alter that lip color to be more of a warm color, just how much better her original cool and bright lipstick looks on her. So she is definitely cool, and she is also definitely radiant. So here is another example. So you can see how amazing she looks with that bright blue right near her face, and on the left is the original image, and she looks so vibrant there, and her skin just looks glowing and very smooth, and you can also see just how little warmth her skin has to it. And on the right, if we put her in a bit more of a muted color like she would be recommended if she was, let's say, a summer of some kind, you can see how that color is not as flattering for her. It doesn't look bad again because it is still a cool color, but it kind of runs away from her, and it kind of makes her look a little bit less radiant than the original sweater on the left. On the left, she really looks radiant and vibrant, and on the right, it looks a little bit more gray of a look overall. And if she was cool and delicate, actually the color on the left would be a little bit overpowering on her, and the color on the right would look just right and bring out a soft glow. You can also see how in the image on the right, she looks pretty good there, right? And she looks good in my opinion because she also has some optic white right near her face, a cool and radiant color to bring that radiant glow to her face, and it's really right up against her skin and really close to her face, and then she can put some warmer colors around it and still look really wonderful and really harmonious, and I think those warmer colors also look nice with her hair as well. So I think this is a really great look for her on the right too. Here's some more images. So she looks amazing in that cool blue color on the left. You can see how wonderful it looks against her skin, and it's not distracting from her. It is not too bright for her whatsoever because her undertone is so radiant. And on the right, it's the same story with a light cool green color, and that looks amazing on her. And you could say, oh well, Miriam, this is turquoise, and turquoise is actually for warm undertones. And I would say turquoise is a cool color. Turquoise is just a very cool green. Turquoise is actually cooler than a cool green. So turquoise is a cool color, but of course, in my opinion, she does look just slightly better on the left than she does on the right, but at the same time, she looks amazing in both. And before we say that, oh, well, the turquoise maybe is not that great, When we take a look at her in some actual warm colors, like a warm red on the left or a yellow on the right, you can see that they don't look as harmonious with her skin overall. So on the left, maybe some more imperfections could show, and on the right, maybe there are not that many imperfections showing, but at the same time, it looks a little bit disharmonious, like the color does not really mesh well with her skin undertone. So it looks a tiny bit separate. But of course, she can always incorporate colors that aren't her own, like beiges and browns, if she also adds some cool and radiant colors right near her face. Like on the left, we already talked about that optic white really lights up her face. And on the right, I also want to talk a little bit about contrast levels and how you can see that she is a low contrast person. So she has pretty light skin, light hair, so you want to put her in some light colors. But in this case on the right, I think she looks absolutely amazing. And I think this look works really well for her because first of all, pure black is a cool and radiant color. And secondly, she also wore a bright lipstick that's a little bit darker. And on top of that, she also wore some dark black liners. So that is going to tie in some higher contrast of her face that kind of adds more contrast to her eyes than she normally would have and ties the whole look together. So that black liner really ties everything together there. And I think she looks amazing there. She also looks amazing in this blue jacket on the left, and some people would say, well, that's more teal blue, so that's more for warmer undertones. I think all blues are cool, and I think all blues are for cool undertones. So I think she looked amazing in that cool blue. They're all cool blues, really. She looks amazing there. And on the right, it's the same thing. She has some royal blue in this case and some lighter purple. So that's a very cool color that she has there and very clear chroma. And that looks wonderful against her skin. And the lighter purple also looks extra amazing because it's a little bit lighter, so it matches her contrast levels too. So she just looks great there. She also looks amazing in optic white. You can see just how radiant and glowy she looks, and her skin looks amazing here. And not only that, it also matches her contrast levels. Being a light and low contrast person, we want to put her in some light colors. But again, because she is cool and radiant, what we want to do is put her in cool, radiant, and light colors. So this is my absolute favorite image of her in terms of color. You can see how amazing that icy pink looks on her. First of all, it's cool because it has more blue in it than yellow, so it's cool. Secondly, it's high chroma. It's radiant, just like her undertone is also radiant. And third, it's also light, just like her coloring. So it just looks perfect on her and it matches her low contrast look, but at the same time, it's also cool and radiant. And for more information on how you can incorporate a low contrast looks with brighter undertones, you can watch my video titled Low Contrast Looks for Bright Seasons. So you can see how amazing this color looks on her, and the color looks amazing, chroma, hue, everything looks amazing. And not only that, if we make the photo black and white, we can see how the value looks basically harmonious. And it looks harmonious because the value of everything, the darkness of everything sort of matches the darkness of her features, the darkness of her skin, darkness of her hair. So everything looks pretty equally light, so it makes it look harmonious. Even though you might not be able to tell right away that it's the same value, you might not be able to put your finger on it and say that's why it looks harmonious, but that is a part of why that look is so harmonious on her. But if we use the seasonal approach, you can see that we would put her in some more muted colors. We would put her maybe in some ash pinks because she's a soft summer, but I personally think she looks much more vibrant on the left in her original bright icy pink jacket than she does in a more ashy pink, and I think it is because of her cool and radiant undertone. So some of her best colors are optic white, some clear, cool lime green, all pretty light colors, a light clear blue, light clear purple, icy pink. Those are all amazing colors on her. All kinds of light purples, all kinds of light blues, all kinds of light greens, and optic white as well. So that is all I have to say about our cool and radiant lady. So definitely let's thank her for letting me use her images in this video. But I want to leave you with a little bit of a thought, and that thought is, what if I told you that Lupita and our cool and radiant lady actually share the same exact best colors? And I'm going to be talking about that in one of my upcoming videos, so I hope you stay tuned. Leave some comments, questions, video requests, etc. down below. And thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time.